Today, let's make a denim skort perfect for summer. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are making a pattern hack from this women's boxer shorts completely free pattern into a denim skort. So really this could be any type of skort you wanted. I'm just going to be using denim fabric as that's what I had on hand. The first step for this is you're going to print out your pattern, cut out the pieces, and then first we are going to be cutting this out very similar to the instructions. So cutting out two pieces for our front and back of the shorts, pinning that together, and then doing this for the denim or whatever fabric you're using so that we can get the initial shorts piece of the skort. Since this is a pattern hack, we're going to be kind of cutting things out as we go, as it will really depend on your measurements. Once you have it all cut out, go ahead and serge those seams or do whatever type of edge finishing you would like to do. Now what we're going to be doing is pinning up or clipping the edges of the inseam of our shorts. So you're going to be repeating this for both of those short legs, just taking that straight seam all the way across so that we can start to have our shorts pieces be built together. Now, once you have those sewn up for both of the shorts, here is sort of a little idea to show what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding like some darts or pleats at the top. One side we're going to be adding a zipper, the other side will actually be having that panel that will make this look like a skort. So now what we need to figure out is how big of a panel do we need. So I'm measuring all the way around the top to wherever I sort of want to add a pleat or a dart, maybe a little bit past it, then however long I want this panel to be, and then just making sure that I know how big all the way at the bottom that needs to be as well. So these were the measurements for my panel. I ended up cutting out about a ½ inch more than I expected, just so that I would be able to then hem all of this how I want. So here's what my panel looks like. You can get an idea. So now we're going to be going through, I'm going to serge this as well, so very similar to the shorts pattern. And then with this added, I'm now actually going to pause on the panel and add the zipper. So the zipper is going to be going on the side that the panel is not on. So whichever pant leg does not have the panel attached, we are going to be adding a zipper. So I'm just going to be inserting this invisible zipper following the manufacturer's instructions. If you want more detailed instructions on how to do an invisible zipper, let me know and I'm happy to include it. My big steps for invisible zippers is to always baste it first. So that way you can see, is the zipper laying how you want it to? Is this what you think it's going to look like? And then once you have one side done, repeat all of this for the other side of the zipper. Once I had this all nice and pinned up though, I then finished basting it. Everything looked good. Once I finished basting, I did a few little tests to make sure is the zipper doing what I wanted to do. And then I just took the actual seam following where I had those basting stitches before. Once I had that done, my zipper is now in, so it was just time to finish off the rest of that pant leg, or our short leg in this case. So I'm just going to go through, pin that up, and then just take that seam so that I can have one shorts leg complete for our skort. So this was really simple, didn't take too long to do. So now I'm going to set this aside and actually go back to that panel we created for the skort front. So for this, I am actually going to go through the process of just hemming this all up. Since I did use the serger, I'm actually just going to be taking about a ½ inch hem, and I'm just going to be folding this up so that I get those nice and neat raw edges and I'm not actually seeing any of that serger edge along the bottom. And I'm just going to be doing this on two edges. So I'm doing this on the edge that will be the bottom of the skort as well as the side of the skort. So two of these edges you do not need to worry about, as we are going to be sewing these into the skort and they will be hidden. So as you can see here, I'm just going to be sewing these two edges up. So the top portion of the panel you don't need to do anything with, and then the side that's going to be attached to the actual skort leg, you don't need to do anything with that either. So it came up with a really nice seam. Everything looks good. So now it is time to take that other pant leg, so the pant leg we have not sewn anything on with yet, and we are actually going to be hemming this up along the bottom. So the idea is we're going to have this nice panel, it's going to be attached on the side to it, but I want to go ahead and hem this first so that I don't have to worry about it when I'm actually attaching the panel. So very similar to how I did that panel, I'm just going to fold this up about a ½ inch all the way through. I found quilting clips were a lot easier with the denim, and I actually have a whole video on sewing with denim if you're interested. And I'm just going to take this straight seam all the way around, and now I can attach my panel to the one side. So here's my pant leg with the right side up. I'm actually facing my panel with the right side also up, so we have the right side of the pant leg matching the wrong side of the panel. And I am just going to now fold over the rest of this pant leg. So as you can see here, I've essentially made a sandwich of the pant leg, and then we have the right side of my panel, and then we have the other part of our pant leg. So what this is allowing us to do is to sew that panel into the shorts as well. So when we take this straight seam, we are sewing that panel in as well as sewing up the side of our shorts. So we now have one side of our shorts, this has the zipper. So as you can see, if we look at it, the right sides are together. And then we have this other piece of our shorts. So here's my panel, I have it turned right side out. So we have this nice panel here for our skirt, and then we have another set of our short side. So now with right sides together of the shorts pieces, we're going to be inserting it in so that we can take that nice seam all the way around so that we can actually combine these. So I'm just going to start pinning or clipping, whatever is easier for you, making sure that our seams match and just following along this curve so that I can bring these shorts together and we can actually really start to build out what our skirt's going to look like. So once you have that pinned, go ahead and take a seam all the way around. You can definitely reinforce that if you want to make sure it's nice and stable. Here's what my skirt currently looks like. So we have those shorts underneath, and then we have that panel on top. The zipper is on the side, and then I am in the process, as you can see now, of starting to add some darts, figuring out how I want this all to be laid so that it fits much better than just that really big waistband that came with the pattern originally. So on the front here, you can see I have those two pleats already in. So the idea behind these is I measured all the way around for whatever my waist was, and then I'm going to be doing some math to figure out how big of a pleat I want to have in there. Now, if you have a dress form, as you can see on here, it does have those style lines for you, which makes it much easier. If you do not have it though, don't worry, I'm going to show you how I specifically got this, as we still need to do the darts on the back, making sure they're all lined up nicely as well. So I measured myself first to see how big of a waist I wanted this to have. Once I did that, I then went to my actual dress form and I measured around to see how much room did I have for the back all the way around, seeing if this matched my sizing. Once I had it matched, I then went to my dress form here and I started to play around with the measurements. So I saw that I had 41 inches of material for the denim all the way around that circle. I needed to be 30 inches. So I did some math to see, like how big of a pleat that would be for each of these items. And then I just did the measurements so that I'd made sure that the pleat matched that style line. If you don't have a style line though, you could definitely just figure out where in the middle you would want that pleat to go. And then I repeated this all the way around for 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Once I had them in place, I then just went ahead and took that nice straight seam to put all of my pleats in. The pleats at the front, I did actually sew about 5 inches down just to make sure they were really in place. Now all that was time left to do was the waistband, and for that I'm just going to be doing a facing. So I got some scrap material and just cut out how big of a facing I would want that to be. So facing's just the waistband, and then see all of that matched for the front as well as the back. So just tracing whatever I had for about 1.5 inches down, and then that curved waistband at the top. And then I cut this out with my denim as well. Once I had those two pieces, I am just going to sew them together on one of those short edges, and then I'm just going to go ahead and take a seam with my serger all the way through, finishing off any of those raw edges, and then just pinning this all the way around to the top of my skirt, so making sure right sides together, matching for both the facing as well as the skirt itself, and just taking that seam all the way around. This is a really great and easy way to clean up any of that raw edge we have along the top. I will say though, because of the pleats and the denim and the facing, it can get a little bulky. So while I was doing this, I found that this works well. I'm still definitely going to be wearing this, but just as a word of caution, this is a very, very bulky fabric, so you may want to grade your seams a little bit, which means just cutting very closely to that seam allowance for one of your seam allowances, and then definitely be sure you understitch and then just press this all out. Depending on the fabric you use, you could definitely use steam, and then I just hand tacked that facing down on any of those pleats. And here is what my finished skirt looks like. I love it. I've had so much fun wearing it. It's going to be perfect for summer. I definitely think you get away with it for other seasons with tights or leggings. If you enjoyed this pattern hack, let me know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.